You're in the right place if you want to build a business selling to other businesses. If you'd like to understand what B2B sales is and learn how to sell without that ick feeling, then you're in the right place. So what is sales? Well, we're talking about B2B sales. So what does B2B mean? B2B simply means business to business. So if you're a business selling to another business, that's B2B sales. Now, in the context of B2B sales that I talk about, we're talking about when we're selling larger items into larger businesses. So usually at least a few $1,000s in value, and how to sell into larger organizations as well. So usually when we're talking B2B, that's what I'm talking about when I talk about B2B sales. So the good news is you don't need to be this guy. Selling isn't about being pushy or sleazy or convincing someone to do something that they don't want to do. It isn't about having the gift of the gab. It isn't about being the life of the party. Selling is not about being a specific personality at all. So what is selling? And specifically, what is B2B sales? At its simplest, selling and sales is simply solving challenges for customers. So understanding what the customer's challenge is and ensuring that your product or solution is a good fit to solve that challenge. Selling is also about taking a prospective customer from that point of interest, from that point in time where they say, oh, that's interesting, I'd like to hear more, through a series of conversations to a positive outcome for both of you. So it's taking them on a journey from that point of interest to a positive outcome where they feel good and you feel good. So the reality, sales is not a magic formula. You just need to understand the mechanics, have a simple process to follow. Sales is a conversation. It's a series of conversations between two people. And each of those conversations should move things forward from that point of interest to a positive outcome that solves that customer's challenge. And what do we do in conversations? Well, we ask questions and we listen to the answers. So how do we do that? How do we actually move them forward? Well, we walk them through a structured process. So this is the simple sales process that I work to. It's a pretty stock standard process. If you Google a B2B sales process, you generally get something that looks something like this. And what we're doing here is taking that point of interest, so that prospecting point, and working through in a structured way to help people, firstly, to help us understand their challenges, then to work out the best solution for them and come up with a good solution that works for both the customer and us. So we start with prospecting, then we move through to qualification, where we check if we actually think we're a good fit for each other. Then discovery, that's where we do all of the asking of questions and understanding more. Then we move through to presentation. We go back with a suggested solution. Then we do a bit of objection handling. So objection handling is really understanding all of the challenges, any of the reasons why they may not want to go ahead. Then we move through to proposal, agreement, negotiation, and last of all, closing. So the good news is this is something that anyone can learn. Sales is a skill that you can learn and practice. Understanding a simple sales process is really helpful when you're starting out. It enables you to know where to start, what to do next, and always where you're up to. Remembering that in B2B sales, sometimes it can take months to go from that first conversation through to closing something out. So if that sounds like something that might be a bit daunting, having a process and some steps to follow helps you to navigate through that longer sales process. One of the things I always recommend that you do when you're starting out is you try and make each step easy for yourself. And you do that by understanding each step and then building out some customized tools for yourself that fit your business. So for example, you might work on what are the questions I need to ask in qualification? What are my discovery questions for me and my business? So remember the golden rules. When you're starting out with B2B sales, the absolute first rule is believe in what you're selling. Now, if you're a founder running your own business, that is not going to be an issue because you started this business because you really believe in what you do. So you're 80% of the way there. My second golden rule is don't lie. Now that sounds really basic and obvious, but it's really easy when we're out there and people are asking us questions, if we don't know the answer, to make it up. We're not going to do that. We're going to go away, find out the answer and come back, and that builds your credibility as a business and as a salesperson. I also talk a lot about the magic of questions. So we talked about B2B sales being a conversation. Well, one of the best ways to get people talking is to ask them questions. Remember, questions draw people to you. Statements can push people away. Questions also enable you to lead a conversation. So we all remember that time when we've been stuck at a party, someone's been in our ear or gabbering on, and we think, how do we change this topic of conversation? I'm finding this really dull. Well, the best way to do it is to ask a question, not to try and jump in with a statement, but to ask a question and steer things in the direction that you'd like to take them. Another tip I'll leave you with today is have a goal for every interaction. So no matter how small that interaction is, if it's just a quick phone call, if it's a quick text, What is the objective for you for that interaction? Is it to confirm a meeting? Is it to qualify the call? Is it just to get them re-engaged in a conversation? Whatever it is, we always want to be moving things forward and have a goal for every interaction. And most of all, what we want to do when we're selling is to practice. Sales is not something that we can learn just from a book. I can teach you lots of stuff, but you're never going to learn to sell unless you get out there and have a go and practice. And each time you have a call and a meeting, take a step back, think about what you did, and okay, what did I do well? What could I do better? And you'll keep learning and iterating and getting better. So how to get started? Well, first of all, subscribe here. There's a bunch of other videos that you can watch to help you learn more about the sales process in a little bit more detail. You can download a copy of your own sales process below right now and get started.